Hi everyone, my name is Sandra Rivera and I'm going to go over my e-portfolio. The first page I have is my teaching philosophy. I've added a quote which I really like. The best teachers are those who show you where to look but don't tell you where to see, by Alexandra Tenford. The reason why I added this quote was from what we've been learning in class these past few weeks and months about inquiry and how we are to guide our students and facilitate their learning and let them take ownership of what they're learning. Then I've also added in here a section on how I have about my classroom experience, how I first started as by doing observations and fieldwork, then moving on to becoming a student assistant, a teacher assistant, and then also most recently a substitute teacher. And it's really helpful because I get to observe or teach in a variety of grades in different classrooms. I also added in there more on my philosophy and how we've learned about cooperative learning strategies and how I plan on incorporating that because it gives the students more of a sense of community and responsibility. I also have here a word cloud in the shape of a tree because it has a lot of the keywords from my teaching philosophy. Now my next page I have is a portfolio where I showcase everything. The first thing I have to show is my picture file. I've embedded the Google slide. You can hit play and it goes through each slide. The reason I added this was because it goes over the first standard, which was engaging and supporting all students in all learning. So the picture file has a little bit of writing and a lot of pictures, and I've highlighted key terms based on the topic, which was the life cycle, and I have a variety of insects and animals that they can look at. The next thing I have, it's more for ELs too. Match mind strategy, which I did with Amelia. I've embedded the document with the outline, and I've also embedded the Prezi that we use. And it goes over the second standard, which is creating and maintaining effective environments for student learning. So I've added in there how we use the California Math Common Core standards, and it's for kindergarten, and how the presentation, how the strategy really helps with cooperative learning and building communication and vocabulary. I have the inquiry lessons that we did. I've embedded the folder in which you can click open any of the lessons to look at. And then I've added the reason I have it on here is because it goes over the third standard, which is understanding and organizing subject matter for student learning. So I mentioned how the first two lessons I did in a cooperative group, and then the last lesson I did on my own. I told them that the first lesson is a math lesson using the new standards, and the second lesson is a science lesson using the next generation science standards. And then the last lesson I did on my own, which is a social studies lesson. And the reason why I added it on there is because it demonstrates knowledge of subject matter. So the students have to demonstrate their subject matter. They use different resources and technology, and it also addresses the needs of ELs. The next thing I have to show is a first grade adjective lesson, which I did. I modified it actually once I took the special education course, and it shows how I can plan instruction, the fourth standard, which is planning instruction and designing learning experiences for all students. So targeting exceptional students with learning disabilities. And the one that I had modified here was for a student with a who was learning disabled, and how I modified the assessment and the lesson. And the last one I've added was the sixth standard, developing developing as a professional educator. So I added in one of my reflections from a previous course, and I think it's key because we need to be lifelong learners, and we need to realize that we won't do everything perfect. There's always room to learn, and we need to reflect on what we're teaching or doing in the classroom, how we're going to modify the lesson the next time for different students, or what went well in the lesson and what didn't go well, so what I'd have to change to reach all the learners. The next page I have is my achievements page, where I pretty much showcase all the exams that I've taken and passed, because I think this is important. I've worked hard for it, and I'm sure all of you have too. We had to work, save up money to take the exams, and study a lot to prepare ourselves. So I feel that all this hard work showcases how I'm determined to become a teacher. Clicking on one of those files from the folder, you can see the embedded documents like the CBEST. It shows here when I took the test, and then the results and what they mean. And you can do the same with all the other documents listed. So I also listed the CSETs, and I put them in order, and the RECA. The last page I've added is my resources and links. This is definitely going to have more stuff by the time I'm done with the credential program, and I'm probably going to add more while I start to make teaching career. Some of the links I have are for instructional purposes. ReadWorks. I've added the links to them, so I didn't just list them. So you can click on them and it opens up another page. Let's see if this works. You can see ReadWorks right here. You can look up lessons and units, or just reading articles on a specific topic, like critical thinking or anything else that you find necessary. Then also I've added in Prezi and Flocabulary, which are like raps and songs that they have to teach new vocabulary for different grades. For assessments, I have Plickers, which we learned about in class. Toto Math, which is an app you can use on an iPad or on the computer. Duolingo, which is to learn different languages. Many of these are free, and others you may have to have a small fee, like Toto Math. They have like a trial, but it's really fun, and it works for K through 3rd grade. For parents, they can see in the Class Dojo how their students are behaving. Grovo, it has lots of how-to videos for parents that might be struggling using different websites or Google Docs or anything like that. For the students, they have resources like Khan Academy, Crash Course, and Google Docs. And other helpful links are like Edutopia, Pinterest, Diigo, which is like an online bookmark. You could just bookmark anything and open it up on another browser, or any other computer, anywhere else. And TeacherTube. And I just added a few little pictures here. I hope you guys like this brief overview of my ePortfolio, and I hope you guys have a wonderful winter break. Bye.